Guys, deluded. Now you guys know, like everybody, I've got big ambitions, I've got big dreams, but to get anywhere, you need to start. I'm nowhere near where I want to tell you guys I would like to be, but two long term ambitions or goals I have is eventually whether I'm 50, 60, 30, 25. It don't matter how old I am. These are two goals I really want to do. The first one would be having my own football team from top to bottom. They kind of tie into each other. I'll call it DELUDED FC. It's a pipe dream of sorts. Yeah, I want my own football team to so I can just really and truly just help people, really and truly, and just play football and provide. And if I could have a thing where I have links to clubs and things, not that I will use that as a carrot to come and play for my team. I mean, in a sense that I have a football team filled with kids from a certain area or whatnot that might not, for whatever reason, might not have access to playing for the teams where they can get seen by scouts or things like that. I would like to really and truly have a team where, like a team from ends essentially, that behaves like a team from Essex. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean by that. Them teams from Essex had all the kits, all the lovely stuff, all the travel. They just had to worry about playing. I would love to do that because I've seen a lot of talented footballers slip by the wayside because of not being seen, not having the focus and things like that. And for me, if I had a football team, and let's just, obviously I'd want multiple ages, but let's just say it was just 11 man. If I could get one player into an academy and out of and given a chance to live a certain sort of life and improve himself, then I've done my job. And the second reason would actually be is because I hate players being turned down because they're not physically able, or they're not athletic and tough and fast and things. Why I say this? Because that affected me once upon a time. I honestly believe, people, not to say I was necessarily the best or anything, but I honestly believe if I lived in Spain, I'd be a footballer at some level, whether that's semi-pro or in the thingy, in the top league. Purely because, not because I was amazing, it's purely because they looked for different things. I could play football. I could fight physically. But if you was to look at me, and if I put myself in an objective shoes, I can see why. If you was to look at me, I'm half someone's size. People all got beards and all smell like crap. I'm there, no facial hair, still ain't got no facial hair, smelling still perfumey. You'd think I'm in for you'd think I might struggle and things like that. And some players have filled by the wayside. Some players like Ox and Messi and Lingard have managed to have a career. I would like to stop that because I was that person. In the same way, I wish I could show you guys one picture I had. Like, there was a guy, like, we played in a Cheshunt Youth Cup final, we won it, and I pocketed this guy. But if you see the picture, I'm so sure I've showed it on Snapchat. The man's up here. I'm not even half his size. But the bigger they come, the harder they fall. And that's something I would like to address. I mean, Paul Scholes, people had question marks over his physicality, and now he's one of the most decorated players to have played for England and United. Lingard, if it wasn't under Ferguson and saying he would get there physically once upon a time, who knows where his career would be? He wouldn't be playing for United or England. Cruyff even said under the current model at Ajax, RIP, obviously when he was alive, that he wouldn't have made it. Pep Guardiola wasn't necessarily fast or strong when he was at Barcelona. He might not have made it. These are the sort of things I want to address, to be fair, because I know even though we're being told people are looking for more technically based players, these are still the things that are prominent both when looking for players because they stand out, and both in the lower leagues of football. And I get it. We have a beast where you need to be able to fight to get out of League One, League Two, but it's not technically based. And you see a lot of these smaller players, or if they're not small, if they're not athletic or mobile or flying into challenges and they're more technical based, they fall by the wayside in this country. And that's something I want to address in my humble opinion. Like, at times I personally wish that someone said, all right, DG, you need to get there physically, but there's something there with you. Let's get you in. Let's work with you a bit. Let's give you a couple years. And they waited on me. I think I'd be a footballer. I think if people waited on me until I'm 22 or 21, 22, like now I'll be ready. Like, I've always been able to hold myself physically for a small man, but now, like, man's hitting gym and that man's like, man, them that play football on Sunday, you know what I'm on now. For all the times I couldn't, I'm on that leaning, sticking the bum out no homes and all of them sort of things there now. I'm barging and acting up, and I'm on all of that, man. Like, I just don't think this country will say they do, but I don't think they look for intelligence. I don't think they look for technical ability. I don't think they look for competency before they look for pace, aggression. And I'm not knocking pace and power and aggression. These are all valid attributes in a footballer and that can be used positively. I'm just critiquing the eye because if you're not looking for this, you're not signing players, to be fair with you, and I think it's wrong, to be fair, man. For every Paul Scholes, Lingard, Cruyff, and people that I've said that have made it in this vid, there's thousands and maybe even millions that haven't for whatever reason, and them things there. But this ain't nothing new. I mean, I don't think this is ever going to change, and it is what it is in that aspect. But guys, deluded, man. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. I'm out.